Born to Achieve. Born to Achieve. Welcome to Born to Achieve podcast, the show that inspires and motivates you to unlock your full potential and achieve your goals. With your host, Warren Andrew Pinder. Let's get started on this week's episode of Born to Achieve. Born to Achieve.
Instead of fighting anxiety, they say to you, all right, recognize that anxiety is a signal, is a biological signal. They say your body's signal to tell you that you are in a danger, you are in a bad place. You need to get out of that place. And then they teach you through breathing of yoga and this and that and the other, very, very intense, sophisticated way of doing it, that you can control anxiety. And listen, I've done it. I've been anxious like everybody else in the world. I'm a human too, you know. So it's unbelievable how they talk about addiction. We talked about self-sabotage. How many people do we know they lose their life going with addiction? They tell you what is the root cause of addiction, aside from you detoxing and this, that, the other, and all that. How do you get out of that? But addiction is not just about drugs. I mean, if you have so many people that they have all sorts of temptations nonstop, that if you look at 8 hours of their day, 6.5 hours is used in that, and they're not really getting, to where they need to go. So what do you do? Well, let me bring you another concept. Unworthiness. How many of us feel unworthy? I'm not good enough. Am I really good? Am I really ready to do this thing? Inside me, there is always this voice that says, well, you know what? You may not be able to do it as good as you think, as the other person. Well, they talk about radiant self-identity. That means your identity is full of light. You need to reach that state. And they're giving you the steps to do that. And that's the whole beauty of it. And that's why I'm trying to provide that in the website so people can go look at it and say, how do I get there? And who else better than, let's go to another subject, overcoming difficult challenges. Who better than warriors? They give you the example of you can, win a battle against 100 men in war. But the true hero is the one who has won over himself.
Wow.
Because that's the bigger war, biggest enemy. That's the biggest enemy. The one that they said the one that is the biggest troublemaker is the one that you really look at every day in the mirror. Of course, they didn't say mirror; they say in the water, because they didn't have a mirror in the ancient times, so they had to look at the reflection of the water and all that. So how do we begin? We begin with understanding the concept of this philosophy, and it's very practical and basic. And I'm providing that on the website free of charge and through the podcast, of course. And once you understand that, then you know what the menu is for cooking this recipe. All right. And then you can start practicing it. And then they give you morning rituals. When you wake up, what you need to do the first 5 minutes. Before you go to sleep, what you do right before sleep for 5 minutes. And they give you this other. And then, of course, they go all the way to, relationship, finances, mental, physical fitness, every kind of stress, anxiety, fear, whatever you have, they address that. And that's the whole purpose. And obviously, Warren, we're not going to be able to cover all of that in such a short point. But the whole purpose of us discussing here today is how do we start the conversation in the first place? So that people say, well, wait a minute, there's another way to look at these things. And it's not something that Kamran Loghman has come up with. It's been around for thousands of years as the heroic journey among all cultures. Among all cultures. I give you Polynesian cultures, and I'll be quiet and you can ask questions. In Polynesia, the warrior tribes, they say, sweep the path with your broom when no one is watching. Okay, just imagine the humility in here. That you are doing something great as a leader, but nobody is watching. So they offer all these examples. They say the tree, with the most fruit, its branch is always the heaviest.
Yes.
Okay, that means you're humble, you're down. Okay, you're not going around and showing off, type of a thing. So they're developing a character, a personality of a person that is fulfilled. Because at the end of life, doesn't matter what we do, when we're sitting down and we are at the point that we are looking back at our life, if it's full of regrets, and everybody has it, but if it's full of mistakes, but you're not proud of what you have done and where you are not mentally free, emotionally free, you're not enjoying the breeze of nature that is hitting your face, then what we have achieved? Nothing. All we did is we just got up every morning and paid bills and went to bed.
Yes.
And that's not what life is about. That's not what life is about.
Thank you for joining today's podcast. We'll be right back.
Achieve Man.
Written by Warren Andrew Pinder and Dominique Bradford. This book passionately focuses on the challenges women have been made to go through and how to overcome them. In some cultures, being a woman disadvantages the girl child. This book carefully exposes the hurdles you might face. This masterpiece is the ultimate self-help guide for women. It reveals your true purpose and identity. Get your copy today. Available from Amazon.
We now return to today's podcast.
Man, you have given our listening audience so much wisdom, right? We here believe that, our vision is to help young men and women to, really unleash the power within. That's what you say with the rise of giants, unleash the power within to fulfill their dreams and achieve their goals. When we speak in this enlightened warrior and the historic journey that you described, like you said, it's nothing new, but it's just tapping into it. How do we tap into this? I mean, the website is there, but just daily cooking up, like you see, just cooking the formula up. How is it? Just help us. It's so enlightening. Help us to get started on this historic journey.
Remember, we are psychological, physical, all right, beings, all right? And we are also influenced by the things we have around us, which is our relationship, our finances, and all the things we talked about. So you have to first start with the psychology of yourself. The concepts that I can't do it should go out of your vocabulary. The concept that I'm not good enough, out. So they say self-reflect, find out what, and that's why it's difficult to do it by yourself. Yeah, that's why in the website we are explaining how do you go about questioning these things and really evaluating your psychology. So it starts with your psychology. So you start recognizing it's not just about positive thinking, okay? It's beyond positive thinking, because you can't just say, oh, everything is great. No, positive. They're talking about empowerment, that you feel so powerful that you're willing to die, because that's what the state of a warrior is. I'm willing to die or get there. End of the story.
Yes.
You become so powerful in your mind. I want my kids to be successful. I want my life. I mean, you're determined. That's the intensity of fire. They actually call it the fire of conviction. So you have that mental attitude right there. The second thing is that we understand the values, which is compassion, is ethical. You're not harming anybody. It's all about self-development, and yours in your life and personal life and everybody else around that you touch. Then it comes back, we're talking about mental and physical fitness. You have to work on yourself physically. Doesn't matter what age you're. If you're young, hey, listen, get involved in sports, athleticism, this, that, you want to get to martial arts, fine, whatever it is you want to do. If you're elder, all right, that doesn't mean you cannot sit on the couch and not move your legs. All right, start getting active. All right, get active. Don't just tell yourself, oh, I can't. Because the moment you do that, not only neuroscience is proven that chemicals comes to your body that just basically depresses you when you just say, I can't. But at the same time, the whole biochemistry of the body changes and you yourself believe you can't. So you need to get more active. Doesn't matter what it is, get more active. Because the more active you are, the more body is just moving forward toward what you need to achieve. So this was psychological and mental fitness we're talking about. Then you come to finances. Hey, listen, come up with a realistic goal of what you want to achieve. All right. If you have debt, there is a plan to take care of that. If there is something else you want to achieve, I mean, people say, well, how am I going to get out of debt? Hey, listen, when you don't have any water, what do? You ration. All right. So that you can have enough water to go to this desert. So if you have debts to take care of, there are different ways to do it. And one of them is sacrifice for 1 year or 2 years. Doesn't matter as long as you're happy for the next 30 years. So you need to be committed to what you want to achieve to go. It's practical. There's no magic. Magic is nonsense. There's no magic. There is self-effort, willpower, and concentration, focus, and consistency and repetition is important. Remember, a drop of water can hit a rock nonstop. And after a while, the rock just splits. All right, exactly. So just keep going. So that's the other thing. When it comes to your relationship, don't start getting arrogant. Don't start putting your nose up. Don't start having all tantrum. Start working with people. Okay, everybody wants to be kind. Everybody wants to have a loving relationship. Everybody wants to be friends. Again, I'm not talking about the crazy serial killer here. Obviously not.
Yes.
Talking about normal people here, all right?
Yes.
Everybody wants those kind of things. So try to come up from a good space. When you smile, they smile. When you're kind, they kind. Do something good for them. They will do something good for you. Be there, all right? So that's that. And then, of course, your purpose. Your purpose is important. What is your purpose? Is your religion, your spirituality, or whatever it is. Or you need to have a purpose to get up in the morning. Because if you get up in the morning, I don't care how long the traffic is. If it's an hour and 30 minutes in the car, if you have a purpose, you're on fire. You're going, you're achieving your life. So I'm just giving you a really superficial way to answer your question. But I want to tell you that you talk about pepper spray. I don't want to let that on because I know audience will be interested. The concept of pepper spray also came to me because of the warrior tradition. I look at the concept from the Japanese, what's called metsubishi, which is the samurai when they were in close quarters and they could not draw their swords because they were such a small area. They had these little boxes, almost like a matchbox, matches. And in there, they put powder, dry powder, chili pepper, and they blew it at people's face. So I took that concept with a lot of our researchers and engineers and chemists and everything else, and eventually make it to a weaponized product that became a standard issue for every law enforcement agency around the world. And I wrote all the training manuals for every federal agency that there is. So it again
y'all just heard what Mr. Loghman just said. All of you know the product pepper spray. Did you just hear what he said? It is study, right, Mr. Loghman? This is so profound, right? This here, as you were saying that just now, you just said something about purpose. You spoke about purpose being one of the legs on that table, and then you just brought into how your studies and your desire, you're on fire to want to that you're your biggest enemy. That in finding in adversity, you were able to come up and understand still how to help persons. That product that is world renowned. I mean, I have one or two. I bought one for my wife, my daughter. It's just everyone knows it, but that's simple, and it's just with compassion that you share it. Because everything you're saying, that be humble, compassionate, knowing that the rise of a giant. This is the point I'm saying is profound. The rise of a giant. A lot of people do not know that that makes leaders is those that are able to persuade persons to achieve better than they are. And
I want to say something, Warren, something interesting. You just said that. It just reminds me of, I mentioned Star Wars, and, in the Star Wars, they always talk about the Force be with you, type of a thing they have. Well, guess what? Guess what? That actually, and they talk about the Jedi. In ancient India, they had warriors that they said they had a strength of an elephant. Of course, they were exaggerating, and they were called the Jetties.
Yes.
And that also was transferred through, Professor, as I mentioned to you, to George Lucas, Joseph Campbell. The other thing is that, remember I mentioned consciousness and meditation.
Right.
The warriors called consciousness the force, all right? And I explain why in a second. And they say the force be with you. The force is you, all right? It's your consciousness. Why? People ask, what is the purpose of life? What am I the purpose of this? What is my purpose? They make it very simple and clear. The purpose of life is to kill, they use that word really heavily,
Yes,
the dark side of you, all right? And rise as a giant.
wow.
That's the purpose of your life. End of the story. You can go this way or you can go that way.
Yes.
And then they continue with this sentence. This is the reason I brought. The force is with you. What does that mean? That means you yourself can destroy yourself or you become a giant. The force.
Wow. The force be with you. Every time this person use that, not knowing exactly what they're saying, that how empowered you are, and not understanding clearly, you just
And they go to the next step. They say the force be with you, but the force is you.
That's what I'm saying. The force is you, so you could be actually calling bad upon yourself if you're not careful.
And of course they go to esoteric things too, which they talk about. Your mind becomes so powerful. Like when you think of someone, that other person knows you're thinking of them, because the force is everywhere. So they go to that. But I'm not going to go to those areas today. But I mean, it is an incredible thing. Human life is incredible and is not supposed to be wasted. We're supposed to live in harmony, all of us together. And of course, there's always some bad characters and bad actors who want to ruin everything up. But then again, we talked about it. It's like a garden. The weeds have to be pulled out.
Yes. Yes.
But life is meant to be for us to be giants. Now, you can turn back as you listen to me, and I'm not mentioning this to you. I'm talking to the audience, and say, well, that's easy for you to say, my life is difficult and all that. Yeah, you know what? The moment you believe that, you have created that reality. All right? It's all it is. It's all it is. Because what Henry Ford said it best. He says, if you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, you're right.
That's right.
That's exactly what it is. So it's all about our belief system. Do you really believe that you can become a giant? Or do you believe that, no, I'm a victim of life? We are all victims of life. I started this conversation by saying that the concept of dragon is in the warrior concept. The dark dragon is always chasing you. It always wants to bring you down. Remember, the dark side has to die.
Has to die.
Right?
Yes.
So what? Don't focus on the dark side. They said, turn your head away from the shadows and face the sunlight, and the shadows will fall behind you. Always face the light.
Always face the light. That is so true. That there is so true.
Now for a commercial break.
Achieve Men, written by Warren Andrew Pinder. In this book, you will learn the 7 steps to achieving your dreams and goals. Given the vision to share how the acronym of the word achieve can be used systematically in your day-to-day life. Each of us is given a unique gift from God. Get your copy today. Available in print, ebook, and audiobook from Amazon.
We now return to today's podcast.
This, what you're saying, man, I don't know what to say, but to ask you just to continue, because I'm sure just help our audience, right? Just help. I'm going to play this back over and over and over. It's so much that I mean, I'm taking it in, but believe me, I have to slow it down and really listen. And I'm sure others out there would want to do the same. I mean, like continue, just give us some more of this life-changing information that you're sharing here today.
Well, Warren, I mean, I'm more than happy to come back again and again and just take you to as many details as you like in the future if time allows. But I mean, again, I would like to keep it simple. I think the whole factor is that let's remember the 4 legs of life, which is our mental and psychological fitness and physical fitness, mental and physical fitness. Again, I'm not talking about health. Let's remember one of them is relationship. Let's remember one of them is our finances. And let's remember one of them is our purpose. Why do we get up every morning? And why do we work? And what are we doing? What are we doing every day? What is the purpose? Why behind everything? The why. All right. And all 4 of them has to be paid attention to. Every one of them. That's what it is. And we are free to fall or rise as giants.
Yes.
I want to leave it with people, because the more information you give to them, the more they have to digest. I think we have spoken and given enough today for them to really think about and really look at this podcast, and listen to it so that they're not adding anything to my life. I'm more than happy to share as much as I can. People can contact me on riseofgiants.com, and I'll be more than happy to respond to their question. But this is not about me. This is about them to really get it, to really get it. So that the true awakening is when you get it. And that's what it is.
Okay. Tell us riseofgiant.com. Tell the audience exactly what they can expect when they visit this website.
Well, as of right now, there are 2 ways that we are communicating. One is my own podcast, which is called Rise of Giants. Correct. So they can go in there, and I'm just constantly putting little things here and there, and people are going forward. The other thing is that I'm developing the website, and the website right now is a lot of different things, and every week we're adding things to it. And there's just people want about anxiety, they can go look at it. If they want to know about how to meditate, they can look at it. If they want to know how the physical fitness, I have even things about combative arts of the ancient warriors. I mean, every person is something for everybody. About relationships, about addiction is there. I mean, all sorts of things are in there. So riseofgiants.com right now, when you go into it, there is a lot of audio program, but my goal, okay, that's why I'm introducing this right now. But my goal is that in the next few months, we have a complete, comprehensive program of Rise of Giants. Again, I said, free of charge for people to come in and they look at it, and becomes an experience, meaning that doesn't matter where you are, whether you're on your phone, whether you're on your tablet, you're on your computer, or you want to go to bed at night or whatever, you can go into these things. If you want to listen to a great story of a great warrior and what happened to their life and learn from it and go to bed with that, that's fine. If you want to learn something practical about how they deal with their finances and how they deal with their relationship, great. There's programs on that. So riseofgiants.com is meant to become a comprehensive place where people can come and experience things.
Oh, thank you so much. We have just heard from Mr. Kamran Loghman, a compassionate. We have heard it. We've heard it in his voice. Someone that cares and really concerned, giving us basically a formula for changing your life. Going through, creating within you a warrior mentality, the mindset that you'll be able to overcome everything. The riseofgiants.com. Go and visit it. Mr. Loghman, I want to thank you so much for being here. And I will take you up and have you back for us to expand upon this which you've just imparted with us on this segment of the Born to Achieve Greatness podcast, which our goal, as I said in the introduction, our goal is to inspire others to share. And we are asking the listening audience to please share this information that you've heard here on the Born to Achieve Greatness today by Mr. Kamran Loghman. It is so worth noted that he's taken the time. The man that actually invented the pepper spray, that alone, just to share how that was done through research, understanding. Sir, I thank you. I graciously thank you. And please do. I'm asking now for you to revisit, to come back on our show, because I'm sure so much more to talk. I'm just left in awe right now. And I just simply want to say thank you. But you've been listening to the Born to Achieve Greatness podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Born to Achieve. Born to Achieve. We hope you found it informative, inspiring, and motivating. Born to Achieve. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and family. Stay focused on your goals, and we'll see you on the next episode of Born to Achieve.
Take advantage of this incredible opportunity. Sign up today and claim your free ebook at www.borntoachievegreatness.com. Follow us on Facebook at Achieve Movement Inc. Get your copy of Exploring Achieveland, A Journey to Realize Your Dreams, Motivational Stories of Kindness, Inspiring Stories for Kids on Amazon and Kindle.